All right, welcome to the Deep Dive All 22 edition. I think you're going to find this one very edifying because we go as deep as it gets to show you fundamentally what the possible things we can do to get better and what we're doing and that we're failing. I think this will be one of the best deep dives you've ever seen. Ian, I'm really excited to do this. But before we get into it, I want you guys to go to Inside Texas, join for $1 American, and you're going to have the best content that you can possibly find in the Longhorn world, and you get a full year of access to The Athletic. And then we got Hate Week. Let's go. Our biggest rival, the team we hate the most, is Oklahoma. And we're going to have some great content there. Go to Texas Live. You'll see the timeline there of all the content you can take in. Hope you enjoy it. And that'll get you all primed for the big game on Saturday. But what we want to show you is some stuff that's going to really inform your watching for Saturday. Let's go to the tape right now, Ian. All right, guys, we got third quarter, 3rd and 6. Balls on the Texas 44-yard line, 3:24 on the clock. Let's go try to make a play. And what we're going to show here is what Texas can possibly be when we throw to a spot on time and we don't have to put a huge emphasis on pass protection. So, Ian, let's go back and show you what happened on this. And we want to start on a positive because we're going to show you, frankly, a few negative things. One thing you'll notice about this formation, Ian, trips. We've got a bunch formation down at the bottom. We've got arch and shotgun, one offset back. And what we're going to do here is run sort of a flood route combination, right? What we're not doing here is a really slow developing series of over routes where we're trying to hit a guy who comes from the backside to the front side. Arch is going to drop back, plant, and he is throwing to a spot. Watch him throw. He's throwing to Emmett Mosley just as he starts his break. And the result is a 20-something yard gain and a first down for Texas. This is a principle of the passing game in which you can get rid of the ball and get the ball out quickly because you have effectively the read and the throw to the play side and you're throwing on time to a spot. Ian, do you have any thoughts on this?
They have a mesh in the middle of the field, and the mesh to that same side is coming open as a late. If hypothetically Arch were to have time to throw, which is a big if in this game. But if he had and this wasn't open, that's wide open too. This is, I think, both of our thesis for the Oklahoma game and probably the rest of the season. Texas's offense needs to major in this. Give Arch quick options to get the ball out. Do not ask this team to rely on running the ball and protecting.
So, excellent producer. If you could go back a little bit, if you don't mind. You'll notice that not only is Emmett Mosley going to be open on this outbreak where Arch is throwing to a spot, but you'll notice, to Ian's point, that we're going to have crossers in the middle that if you hit this guy right here, right in the middle, going towards Emmett Mosley's side, this guy right here, if you hit that guy, he can pop up the field and he's going to get the first down and probably, 10, 12 extra yards at least?
A lot.
We've got high, low. We're getting the ball out quickly because the receivers, again, are play side to the read, right? We're not asking someone to do a long, ponderous series of progressions to get them open eventually 3.5 seconds after the snap. We've got to find ways to get the ball out within 2 seconds, 2.2 seconds. That's just the reality of this offensive line. Is that fair, Ian?
100%. Yeah, under 3 seconds whenever possible.
Okay, so I want to give you an example of what we can do. And yes, the protection actually was pretty good on this. But I think even if we'd given up some pressure, you can still complete this route or you can complete the underneath little mesh. This is what this offensive game plan and this passing game could be if we'll make some adjustments. All right, so we showed you some good. We're going to show you a little bad here, and it's a combo of 2 pet peeves that I don't like, Ian, and I'm going to illustrate what those are. It's the second quarter, 2nd and 9, ball in the Texas 38, 14:03 on the clock, and we're going to give up a sack between the left tackle and the left guard. This will be a familiar theme, particularly the left guard and center issues that we'll see later. I want to show you the wide view here. Ian, as we note here, we're not doing a quick read or throwing to a spot. We're doing a long, long progression. And that didn't serve us very well in this game, did it?
No. He's like not even finished with his drop, and it's already Mayday mode.
His back foot is hitting in his drop, and he's like, oh no. So that's not good, particularly if you're going to go under center and run long, ponderous progressions from play action. But we want to show you, yeah, Connor, great job illustrating. Again, this is the long over. It's the long over the other direction. Hey, Steve, if we get 4 seconds to throw in a clean pocket, I'm excited by those concepts, but that's not this football team. So let's show the back view of why Manning gets sacked here. I also think as a casual fan, you're watching this saying, get rid of the ball, Arch. There's nowhere to get rid of the ball. All you're calling for is an interception. But I want to show why this is my least favorite protection. We're going to do what is called a pull protection, where we're going to ask a tight end to block a defensive end, a big. Ian, do I like it when Texas has a tight end blocking a defensive end?
I think at least half of Quinn Ewers' injuries came on that.
Yes, that concept. And then we're going to also combine that with very robotic slide protection. So watch Connor Stroh in the middle there, along with Gooseby reaching out, saying, well, no, wait, stop. Connor Stroh is going to he's going to slide very robotically. And the Florida Gator defender is going to say, well, if you're just going to guard that piece of grass, I'm going to go around you. And that's exactly what he does. And then Jack Endries is the puller trying to block a grown-up defensive end. Arch Manning is immediately pressured. That defensive end is going to retrace, which he's taught to do when a quarterback breaks the pocket. And he's going to get an easy sack because there's nowhere to throw the ball.
You know, I noticed also on the wide copy, and this is a bad hit too, because he's trying to throw the ball and he cannot control how he goes to the ground.
You could very easily bust your shoulder on this kind of hit.
I think he might have gotten some kind of mild stinger, in fact, on this, and he just played through it. But that he will not last many games taking hits like that. When we showed the wide view, not only everything was covered deep. Florida's like, oh yeah, we've prepared for this. And they had like 2 guys on the post and 2 guys on the over, like bracketing both inside and outside. And they didn't need to commit numbers to the pass rush because of the just flaming garbage that's occurring in front of Arch.
So, and when I talk about the robotic slide protection, I want you to watch Connor Stroh. He is going to mechanically slide to his right because that's what he's been taught to do. And this Florida player is going to go, you're sliding right, I shall slide left. Oh, space. And look, Gooseby gains ground, so he can't help on the slide protection. By the way, he's got a guy not only head up on him, but slightly inside of him. Shades of the Georgia Bulldogs from 2024, Ian, because that's how they would align to us and expose our slide protection. Again, our way to address this is we're going to have Endries come and help on the backside defensive end, but we don't like tight ends on big defensive ends. It's not what tight ends are good at, and we prove that every year. And then, of course, we have the lookout block. You can say Gooseby's to blame there. You can say Stroh's to blame there. Both things are true. The protection and the call and all the concepts are to blame here. I'm not saying the offensive line wasn't terrible. They were worse than you guys can imagine. But I'm telling you, this was identified by their defensive coordinator, and they are attacking our protection as much as they are attacking our players.
One other note, because this will come up again. Hudson lets that guy cross his face to Stroh. The guy that crosses Stroh's face is across from Hudson.
Yes.
It's a long way to go without anybody touching him. And either of them should have jabbed him.
So there's the protection call and being a robot and doing what you're told to on the whiteboard. And then there's being a football player. And football players are governed by principles. And one of the key principles of offensive line play, which is drilled into you from day one if you have a good coach, is no one crosses your face without some sort of consequence or at least getting a hand on them. And we repeatedly violate that. It's very hard to watch sometimes. What's going on, folks? Hey, I want to extol the virtues of this guy, Gabe Winslow. You can reach him at 832-557-1095. Why do you want to reach him? Because you're buying a house or you're refining your house. Interest rates are down. The market is hot. And Gabe is the man that you need to call. Why would you go to Big Bank USA when you can go to a mortgage broker of the quality of Gabe, over 20 years in the industry, former National Merit Scholar, of course, a proud UT grad. Guy's got a law degree from a top 20 law school. This guy is the guy you want in your corner for the biggest financial decision of your life. Let's go to this guy, let him work a deal and bid out to 60 different lenders instead of going to Big Bank USA and getting stuck with their rate and their low level of service. Pick up the phone, text this guy, call this guy, mortgagesbygabe.com, 832-557-1095. So Ian, a very glib answer to all of this is, hey man, let's go 5 wide. Let's get the ball out quickly. Let's let Arch cook. Well, not everything is easy when you don't marry those concepts to what will actually work. We do go 5 wide here. What do you notice about our routes, Ian?
3 verticals. And then I believe the 2 least threatening receivers running the 2 most least threatening routes possible from 5 wide. And in this open space that our producer is indicating for us, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I almost wonder if one of those receivers going vertical actually screwed up his assignment or something.
Well, here's the thing that we know. If we want to talk about first principles, I talked about not letting someone across your face without some sort of consequence. Claim green grass. If you go 5 wide and you're having trouble protecting, which we had trouble protecting, Ian, I'm not sure if you're aware of that after having watched that game. Florida had 34 pressures in their first 4 games. They had 36 against the University of Texas. But we're going 5 wide. That's the solution to everything. Let Arch cook, right? Well, we're not marrying the correct route concepts because one of the rules of the spread, and I'm talking to the king of the spread and flyover football, Ian, should you claim green grass in the middle of the field when it's available to you?
It's a good idea.
It's a good idea because it leads to easy completions and the chains moving. So we don't do that. So conceptually, and by the way, look at the 2 routes where we do offer outlets outside. To Ian's point, least threatening routes, least threatening players, and Florida has those guys covered. You throw that ball, it's going to be a PBU or a pick 6.
Yeah. It's a long throw out there too.
It's a long throw, and he's going to be pressured. So let's go look at the end zone version to look at what the offensive line does or doesn't do. Here we go. Keep your eyes on Mr. Stroh here and Mr. Hudson. These are the problem children that we've had repeatedly in this game. Stroh is just going to get beat heads up. He's bending at the waist, which is a cardinal no-no of offensive line play. You don't reach and bend at the waist when someone is swim moving. Can you see this position? Is that an athletic position?
No.
You can't bring any power to bear there. It doesn't matter if you weigh 360. You are now a useless football player when you're in that position. You're praying. This guy, of course, easily beats him. We turn number 33 into an All-American in this game. And then you'll notice Cole Hudson is getting bull rushed back into Arch as well. So if this had been the only pressure, Ian, there's a coin flip chance that Arch can sidestep this guy, still step up in the pocket, and maybe something develops late, which we'll see later, a positive play where Arch makes a similar play in this scenario. But because Cole Hudson gets driven back by a guy who's not lined up on him, but does DJ Campbell put his hand on him to help? He does not. We're allowing a guy across our face without even putting a hand on him. Ian, this is not good football.
I like how Florida's double team on Cole Hudson got at least as much movement as any double team by the Texas offensive line in the run game this season. That's really, Hudson does not cover himself in glory here. There's a lot to criticize, but I just have sympathy for a guy who starts the play with no one heads up and then quickly finds 2 defensive tackles driving him backwards.
Both of them attacking half of him.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the principles of pass rushing is attack half the man. Don't attack the whole guy, right? But I will say he's headed backwards before the double team is applied. But I do agree that was the coup de grace as Stroh yells, "Look out!" And Arch, again, if you're at home saying, "Arch, get rid of the ball," guys, There's nowhere to get rid of the ball. If he gets rid of the ball, it's a pick six.
Yeah, I don't understand what even that route combination was, because in a 5-man protection, the quarterback has to account for the 6th guy with a hot route. What is the hot route?
Well, and again, a basic principle of 5-wide true spread football, you're trying to get the ball out quickly. And guys, remember, again, it's 3rd and 8, okay? We're trying to move the chains. We're trying to get a first down. You have to have a guy settling and presenting themselves in the middle of the field. I just don't understand. And Florida's running a lot of too high. So, again, a perplexing combination of issues. And what we're trying to point out is it's multifactorial.
That means there's no easy fix.
There is no easy fix in season. All right, 3rd quarter, 2nd and 9. Ball's on the Texas 31, 14:38 on the clock. We are going to really struggle in pass pro here. But again, different personnel, same problems, Ian. So people are saying, hey, these are easy solutions. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay, we're doing a little more of this and that. We're seeing some routes that maybe aren't presenting themselves early, and then we're going to get really poor protection. And when I say really poor, I want to illustrate what the center and left guard do on this play. By this point, Connor Stroh has been pulled. We put in Nick Brooks, but we have not seen an improvement with Nick Brooks. And we're going to see some real issues here with Cole Hudson. So focus on that combo of 71 and 54, and tell me if Arch Manning has a chance here.
I would say no.
I mean, as a quarterback, that's a nightmare. So Brooks is going to give it up an immediate pressure. Again, I want you to notice that a defender's lined up inside, but where's he going to head, Ian?
Wherever he has to.
He's going to head basically a different way than his initial show, right? Because we're in robotic, stupid slide protection. So 33, who we made an All-American in this game, is going to whip Nick Brooks. You know what? Arch Manning has a shot still at stepping up and making this play right. But once you lose the other 54, watch this guy go across Cole Hudson's face and look at Cole Hudson's feet and how he lunges here. Good heavens. I mean, I'm going to show you outside. I'm going to step across you. I'm going to slap your hand down. Get off me. And Cole Hudson is already turned. Not an athletic position. Why aren't you squared? Why aren't you pass blocking? Why are you lunging? Why? He's not very strong. So if you want to bring some pop, you better lunge. That's a very, very bad idea in pass pro.
I wonder what PFF graded DJ Campbell on this one.
Very interesting question. Let's show DJ Campbell here, Ian. So DJ Campbell, of course, is to the right of Cole Hudson. There's a guy lined up on him. What do you think he should do here, Ian? Should he help at all?
I would.
Okay. Well, he's going to go help out Baker on the inside, who needs no help, by the way.
He goes, by rules, he slides to the right. He finds work on the right side.
That's right.
He can, that in a court of law, that's his defense.
I ran the call, literally exactly what you told me to do. And no, I don't have to help anyone. Because
what actually happens is he bullies an engaged player.
Yeah.
Gets to look hard while his team puts forth a completely losing effort.
That's it. So the issue is not just physical. The issue is not just technical. It is. There's a lack of cohesion on top of that. And there's a literalism to our pass pro calls that these guys aren't playing like teammates. They're playing like robots who are on islands. All right, so the good idea fairy has come down again and offered a great suggestion to fix the Texas offense. Ian, it's something you and I have said. Let's run Arch Manning.
Yep.
So we're going to get a quarterback draw here. It is 3rd and 10. The ball's on the Florida 43, 9:49 on the clock. Let's run Arch. And guess what? We got a 5-man box, Ian. We're cooking until we're not. So I want you to watch the concept here. They've got 5 in the box. That safety, you see him at the very top of the screen past the official. That guy's not in the play. Okay, Arch is a pretty athletic guy. If this gets blocked up, if everyone does their job, Arch is going to run for a first down. If he breaks a tackle, he might go for a touchdown. Well, let's watch what happens. Watch Cole Hudson here. Oh! Should the center try to make contact on the linebacker on this play?
That would be the ideal.
All right, so let's see what Florida did here. I want you to watch them go C to A. They're going to run another one of these stunts that murdered us, which is part of the reason we're running quarterback draw, Ian. I want you to see that Nick Brooks does a fine job taking this guy further than he wants to go. So this guy says, I want to slant in here. Brooks says, great. I'm going to take you all the way in and create a massive hole. Stop right here. All Cole Hudson had to do was fire out straight because Arch Manning's coming right behind him. Arch is going to cut here back against the grain to Cole Hudson's butt. But instead, Cole Hudson kind of lumbers hesitantly, and then he puts one arm out as his block. And this is what happens.
You can see again. You can see again the roboticness of it, because initially it's like, okay, we're going to blast a lane open through the A gap. And then they slant into the A gap with a wide player, which if you're actually just blocking quarterback draw with principles, like you're pointing out, that's a big opportunity because guys are running themselves out of the play like it's a pass rush. And that's what quarterback draw feasts on. But they don't block it with principles. They do robotic. I'm going to take the linebacker on inside out and seal the intended A gap that they're going to concede us because their alignment says so.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if Cole Hudson gets a piece of the guy, just gets a piece of him on the inside, Arch is cutting that back, and then it's him one-on-one with the safety in green. He will get a first down. There is a chance if he can break a tackle, he's going. He's gone. So, again, we started this by saying, hey, why don't we just go 5 wide? Well, we showed you some 5 wide and how we execute that. Hey, why don't we run Arch more? Well, we've got a quarterback draw. We have exactly the front that we want. We even had the stunt that we want, and we can't execute it because we have some guys not competing.
All right, Paul, our last play. It's the third quarter, 1st and 10, ball on the Florida 38 with 2:56 before we get into the all-important fourth quarter. And Arch is going to throw a touchdown pass. That's nice.
Yes.
A happy ending to this podcast. They have whip route by the tight end who motioned in late. They have a dig route by the second receiver, and then the outside receiver runs a post. This is a classic 2 high coverage beater, the whip dig, the post dig combination. 3 receivers all to the same side, Paul. That means that you get quick declarations by the defense and cleaner, faster reads, which is essential in general for this team and in specific on this play. Another thing about this is that other play we showed where Texas goes into 5 wide and they have 3 guys running down the field and Arch has nowhere to go with the ball and no one in the middle of the field and he gets sacked. The whole value of going 4 or 5 wide is that you don't have to send everyone deep to get open deep. By spreading the defense out, you can force the defense by rule to concede a one-on-one route somewhere. And that's the only guy that needs to go deep if you want to take a shot. So this is much better, much cleaner conceptually. They're rewarded with a touchdown. Offensive line play. Let's get into it, Paul. What are you seeing here?
So again, we've pulled Connor Stroh by now, but Nick Brooks is going to allow a free runner. Let's see if he even makes contact on this guy in any meaningful way. We'll let that run. And
no.
Touch the shoulder. So again, you C to A. If you guys recall, that was the concept that they've been running. That's what we should have exploited with that draw call, but we didn't do it because the center didn't get his block. We're going to see this gentleman come down, and Nick Brooks is not well prepared for this. Everyone else on the O-line is acceptable, is okay. Arch is just off of pure athleticism, going to make this guy miss, reset, And when I saw this live, I was like, oh, Arch hit an open receiver. I guess he got a little pressure. When you rewatch it on all 22, you realize what a great play Arch Manning made here.
Nobody's complaining about the sidearm angle now.
That's true. That's true.
Now it's just whatever you got to do, man.
The other thing that helped here, and again, it sounds funny to praise this, but we only had one guy free. If there had been two free, Arch gets sacked again.
Pass rushers.
Pass rushers.
Yeah, only one pass rusher wins.
So what you think is, well, what does it matter anyway? Someone's going to give up a free runner because our offensive line's not playing well. Well, it does matter because it at least gives Arch a fighting chance when you marry it to some concepts that work. And Ian, if you'll recall, we began this deep dive showing Arch to trips hitting an out on time. Did you know that this was the next play immediately thereafter?
I did not.
This is. So we run the concepts of trips to one side. We're throwing to that play side, and we're rewarded with 2 of 2 for about 60 yards and a touchdown. Maybe go back to that. All right, y'all. That's been the deep dive. We hope you found this edifying. We hope you know a little bit more ball now and some of the things that Texas can do really well and some of the things that maybe Texas is struggling with. Ian, you were great. Really appreciate it. And if you want to read great content from gentlemen like Ian Boyd or even me, go join Inside Texas for $1 American. You get a full year of access to The Athletic. Thank y'all for joining us. Beat OU.